Good evening and welcome to the Monday's edition of the Regional News. Former Barbados Government Minister Donville Innis, who was convicted of money laundering in the United States, returned to Barbados late Saturday after spending 2 years in prison. The 57-year-old former St. James South Member of Parliament, who reside in Tampa, Florida, was convicted in January 2020 after a one-week trial on 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering and 2 counts of money laundering related to his laundering of US $36,000. Prosecutors said he moved bribe payments from the Insurance Corporation of Barbados through a New York dental company between 2015 and 2016. Innis served a shortened sentence for good behavior. Speaking with reporters on the arrival, Innis said it was great to be home, and I quote, "Despite all of the trials and tribulations I've been through for the last 4.5 years, these 5 minutes here being back here in Barbados amongst family and friends erased all of what I've gone through," he said, end of quote. An expanding anti-corruption probe in Venezuela has led to the detention of 10 officials and 11 businessmen, the country's attorney general said, adding that the arrest warrants for 11 more people have been issued. The investigation, which began in October, is focused on State Oil Company, PDVSA, a government entity supervising cryptocurrency operations, and judiciary. This week, it led to the resignation of the country's powerful oil minister, who had served the government for over 2 decades. A Venezuelan entity supervising the use of cryptocurrency for official transactions was assigned oil cargoes for sale with no administrative control. The 21 people arrested faced accusation of appropriation of public assets, money laundering, influence peddling, and criminal association. Officials involved could also face charges of treason, the Attorney General said. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro, who said he has been directly overseeing the probe, has appointed a new oil minister, delegating him in supervising the whole industry. The Mexican government said it would challenge the Supreme Court's temporary suspension of parts of the controversial electoral reform pushed by President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. The Supreme Court on Friday halted parts of the reform, which was a scaled-down version of a failed constitutional reform originally sought. The court also confirmed it will consider a lawsuit from Independent Electoral Institute (INE) that seeks to overturn it. Mexico's government said in a statement it will challenge the decision through its legal department and blasted the court's suspension. Late last month, Mexico's Senate gave its final approval to the electoral reform known locally as Plan B, which critics warned will undermine democracy since it significantly downsized the INE, which given more power to local officials, many of whom are members of the López Obrador's party. The government has said the reforms seek to reduce the bureaucratic costs of elections and strengthen democratic principles. Tens of thousands of protesters took to the streets days after lawmakers approved the reform in one of the largest protests so far against López Obrador's 4-year administration. Thank you for watching. I'm TIANA.